And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're in the world. Welcome to FPL, don't panic. Quick video. Famous last words. Try and make it a quick video. Team lock-in time. So what I'm just going to do in this video, I'm going to do a couple of videos today. We're going to do a quick team lock-in, a little look at my watch list and thoughts going forward as we move towards AFCON, etc. Players on my watch list, etc. And then we'll get that out. And then I will get a Bishop Brennan Cup video out in the next few hours as well. Let's start with this, which is with deadline looming. It will be, deadline is Wednesday 7 AM in New Zealand. So that's what, 12, about 15, 16 hours away. So it's Tuesday 7 or 8 PM, I think, in the UK. So Wednesday 7 AM New Zealand, Tuesday, you guys know. Changed my mind, as you can see. I did talk in my video that I did yesterday about where I was going to go with a transfer, or more likely to roll, as I started to put a little watch list together and saw how players could actually integrate into the side and where my weak spots were. Yeah, had a change of mind. I had a complete change of mind. The big ones for me, and I know a lot of people are suffering with the injuries, suspensions, etc. You know, for me it was, you know, Casado and obviously Sinisi. Other people have got Sarr, and there's a whole bunch of others that are potentially rotation risks or are suspended, etc. All the stuff that you get when you've got fixtures coming up hard and fast. This is where I've gone with Rice. I've gone with Declan Rice. Talk about that a little bit. Let's bring this up. So obviously you've got the team set there. So let's just run through it sort of top to bottom. You know, quick overview again. I like to have 4 points out of my keeper rotations. I like to have 4 to 5 points out of my defenders and rotations, etc. I like to have 6 points out of midfielders as an average, and I like to get 6 to 7 out of my strikers, so that I'm generally should be hitting something around that sort of 60s, early 60s, little captain's return. I'm hitting 70, and average 70 for the season. You got a top 5k finish on your hands. I am a long way from that at the moment. A long way. Last 3 game weeks have fallen off a cliff for me. However, somehow in there, because the averages across the board are really low this year, somehow or other, I have actually had 2 greens and a grey in the last 3 game weeks. And survived the mega chip week last week, last game week 13, with all the Haaland triple captainers. That, even though I've got Haaland, would have hurt me massively, and some absolutely stonking performances with a million free hitters out there as well. Somehow got a grey arrow. I'll actually take that. Need to see my little graph. As I say, started out the season not too bad, had the big dip, which can quite often happen after, you know, game week 1 or 2. Steadied the ship. Another big dip there a few game weeks back. A lot of reasons for that. I had so much shit going on in my life, you've no idea, and a few of you obviously know about that now. Steadied the ship, as I spoke about 2 or 3 game weeks ago, and although the scores haven't been spectacular, at least it's steady. We've stopped those big dips. What I need to see now is that graph going up. How are we going to get there? By playing a steady game, to be honest with you. By playing a steady game. I was tempted to go for a couple of 1 week type punty things in 14 and 15. But it's kind of not my game. I kind of tend to do the punty stuff in the first, you know, 10, 12 game weeks, and then try, and those that know me for a while know I don't always succeed, try and stop taking hits, try and stop doing the silly stuff, and go real steady Eddie, or steady Desi, as some would say. So this is more a move towards doing that, and continuing that, as I've tried to do it for the last few game weeks. You know, taking no hits. On hits, I think we will find a lot of people are taking hits this week, simply because of the injuries, the suspensions, potential rotations, players at risk, or just people just generally panicking if they've had a bad game week and they feel they need to do a complete remodel. You know, geez, even FPL, Harry's taken a hit. Harry don't take hits, well, very rarely that I've seen. So this is where I've gone. I'll talk about the transfer in a moment. I ran through a lot of this yesterday, so I'm not going to bore you with it all again. Petrovic, got him in grey there because he is a potential transfer out in a few game weeks as I look to remodel little things. So Petrovic, or indeed Dubravka, have been going really well for me. One of them is going to go in game week 16, and you'll see I've got Verbruggen in my little watch list there, whose averages in themselves are not fantastic, but he has been returning, and between either Petrovic or Dubravka, there's some nice fixture rotations there. There's potential clean sheets, and I don't mind having a, rather than spending 5.5 on goalkeepers, I do like, and it was going well for me some game weeks back. I had a nice average of 5 or 6. Just needs a rejig. It's mainly that Bournemouth defence. It's mainly that Bournemouth defence has fallen off a cliff the last 4 or 5 game weeks, and yeah, just very, very, very poor. So even when he does get a few saves in there, even if he's conceded a goal, I'm not getting too much benefit of that because they're, he's losing points just on the volume of goals that they're scoring. So we'll have a look at that properly. But Petrovic or Dubravka going in 16 for potentially Verbruggen. There may be other options that I look at. O'Reilly, grand for this game week, lovely. Yeah, just I've spoken about O'Reilly yesterday. I won't repeat myself. Just a good player, exciting to watch. City defence. He's in there to get me some attacking returns. Fun to watch. Real fun pick. Fun to watch. And yes, I know he probably, as I would say in that 11, is probably the biggest rotation risk this weekend. But Aitnor will be off to AFCON. And as I say, he's a really, really fun pick. Similarly, Timber, maybe some potential risk there, but he's looking good. I love the positions that he takes up. Could have had a goal right at the death against Chelsea. Looks dangerous. He's turning into a bit more of a set-piece target now, I think, with Gabriel gone. Yeah, lovely, fantastic. And just wonderful fixtures going forward as well. Lacroix, lovely, grand. Palace looking a little leggy, but it is Burnley. There's a few good fixtures there. Good fixtures post Man City in 16, and he's going really, really well with the DEFCON, and there's attacking threat there as well. That'll be the back three. And between the three of them, the averages, we've got a 5.2, a 4, and a 6.4. I would totally take that this weekend. But hey, maybe someone might get me a goal or a couple of attacking returns as well. Totally take that between the three of them. 5, 11, 15ish points. Absolutely fine. That'd be grand. But on those fixtures, Fulham, Brentford, Burnley, boom. Who knows? Semenyo. No, I'm not going to talk. I mean, Semenyo. Listen, to be fair to the lad, he had, I think, been carrying something while all those games he was blanking. He should have had a goal and assist. Really, really unlucky in that last fixture to come away with just 1 point. So he's greyed out there. He may well go in 16, and you'll see some of the options. We'll run through some of the options there. He may well go in 16, but he's got another fixture there. He may actually go in 15. To be fair, we'll see how he goes against Everton. If he hits another purple patch like he did at the beginning of the season, if he is, through this little injury and he's had a bit of a rest and we're starting to see the best of him again. But Bournemouth as a whole are looking relatively poor. There's still a goal threat there, though, to be fair. Dewsbury Hall, I have him greyed out, and that is not because he hasn't been going well. At 4.9 million, he's been absolutely bloody amazing. But the spreadsheet isn't just about the hitting the averages and trying to keep people on those averages. It is also about fixtures going forward, and I look at Chelsea away, Arsenal home. There's some really, really good options that have better repeatable actions. Dewsbury Hall's points have come from some absolutely screaming goals. He's not going to be doing that week in, week out. He isn't. He's in a little purple patch, though. Let's see how he goes. I think he'll get the start from me against Bournemouth. I am wrestling with whether I go with Thiago, though. On penalties. I know he's going to get a chance or two. Could be a flip of a coin there. But Dewsbury Hall, it's not a bad fixture. Bournemouth are conceding goals. Still thinking that's probably the one place that is not 100% locked in. What I would say, though, is Dewsbury Hall is 100% starter. Don't think Thiago will get rested, but he did come off just a few minutes early with a precautionary substitution. So we'll be watching the presses on that one. Rice is the transfer in. I've gone with Rice. It's strategic. I like the fixture against Brentford. Villa away, still not too bad. And then there's that beautiful sea of fixtures post 16. Towards the end of last year, I thought Rice was really stepping up. I actually said in the video, I think I might get Rice in. He's just turning out really, really consistent. People go, you're mad, Rice, Declan Rice, defensive midfield. I said, I know, but he's... I wish I bought him in at the beginning of the season. He has been magnificent. 6.4 average at that money. Returning almost every bloody week. Bit of DEFCON, attacking returns, on set pieces. Look at the fixtures. That's why I went, rather than sort of looking at something weaky punty sort of thing for 14 and 15. I went with someone that you're just gonna set and forget, and sod's law will be that I've said all of that, and he's gonna blank week after week after freaking week now, right until the. No, I don't think he will. He's been too consistent. Those fixtures are too good. There's always the potential, and that's the thing I would say. I say he's rotation risk free. No one is rotation risk free, and I think he was given a rest earlier in the season, wasn't he? No one's rotation risk free at the moment, but maybe he's less rotation risk than some other players. We'll see. There are going to be surprise benchings. It's just going to happen. Saka. Yeah, again, it's a 5.6 average. It's not quite on my 6. I think Saka should get to a 7 fairly soon. The fixtures are there, but Saka did you catch that dive on camera? We'll see. We'll have a look at it later. Fixtures are there. I don't mind that double up in the Arsenal midfield as we look at those fixtures going out, but Saka could potentially go and be used as a cash cow for a certain Cole Palmer in a few game weeks' time. See how Palmer goes. Has he got that groin injury sorted out? Has the rest done him well? Chelsea are looking pretty good. Pop him into that midfield and that sort of 10 role. If he's back to his best. Because what Palmer has that Saka doesn't really have is that massive high ceiling. Huge ceiling. You just need one of those 14, 15, 16 pointers out of him every 3 or 4 games. And then, the odd goal or a penalty or whatever. Boom, and all of a sudden you're looking at a player that is on a 10, 11, 12, 13 point average. So I'll be monitoring the Palmer situation, because we were all stung by Palmer last year. We held him week after week after week. We all held him too long because we were scared of him. Do we get the Palmer back that we know and love that gets us those goals? Situation under monitor. And Mbeumo, good news on Mbeumo is that it doesn't look as though he's going to go till AFCON until 17, so he can be a slightly longer term hold. Fixtures are good. He is due attacking returns. Lovely. So he'll be probably a transfer out 17, I'd say, at this stage. But the fixtures are there. Where we going? Mateta. I was a bit worried about Mateta. I've got him graded there. It's really mainly because Palace are just looking leggy. He could be a transfer out in for game week 16. Well, we'll see how it goes. The fixtures are there. Palace are looking leggy. They really are. Small squad, and could there be a rotation risk there? And do I just save some money? Happy enough with those fixtures, obviously with Burnley in particular, and indeed Fulham's not too bad either. But I'm just a little bit worried about Palace at the moment, and the Sarr injury as well, of course. We'll see. Monitoring situation, but there could be a way to maybe save some money there as I try to move towards a Palmer. Maybe I can get someone cheaper towards a Palmer rather than transferring out Saka. Stories for another day as we sort of just move through the game weeks. And Haaland's Haaland. The captain's armband is going on Haaland. Mentioned in yesterday's video that he certainly wasn't going to be at 90-95% captaincy like normal. Looks like he's going to be amongst engaged managers in the 70%, and I'm getting that obviously from some of the surveys and things, 100 FPL experts, things, the surveys that some of the other content providers go that are a little bit better, well, a lot better connected than me with their networks, but it looks as though it's going to be in that 70%. That means Haaland does actually become an asset that can get you a rank rise if he holds, as we see other players going for your Mbeumo's. your Brunos, Saka, etc., etc., sort of spreading around on that. Now, that doesn't mean that Saka, Bruno, or Mbeumo won't outscore Haaland, but if you were really betting your house on it, right, and you had to have someone that you bet your house on, where would you go? And I think, as weird as it sounds, I think playing the safe route this week could be the one that gives you the rank rise. Take no hits, captain Haaland, try and have 11 starters, while there's a little bit of panic going on out there with all the injuries, etc., etc. There's definitely hits been taking, as I said, FPL Harry taking a hit. Bench, okay, so I'm doing that substitution, doing that transfer with Rice means I actually at least do have 2 players on the bench, outfield players, Thiago and Michele, as a little bit of cover. Say someone does get rotated or rested completely, at least I've actually got a little bit of bench cover, because it was looking shallow with Senesi and Caicedo suspensions. I like the look of the team. The prediction's fairly low at 52, mainly because the last 2 or 3 game weeks have just been very low scoring game weeks. The averages across the league have been very, very low. My averages have been low, but I have, as I said, got 2 greens and a grey. 52 and a captain's return from Haaland. We could be ticking towards that 70 points mark, and it would be a time when Haaland captaincy would make a difference if he is down in that sort of 70% effective ownership. Let's see. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful of a decent game week. Quickly through the watch list. They're in there because of form, price. It's not a definitive watch list. There may be others added. There may be some removed. But I'm looking at players that have obviously got reasonable averages, showing some consistency, have some nice fixtures going forward, that look like really good sort of replacements on the players I've got grayed out in my main team, and will also create some really nice rotations with the players that are in there. I mean, as an example, I like Dewsbury Hall, but he's got a couple of nasty fixtures in there. You take out Dewsbury Hall and you sort of, you move in, an Anderson. I'd say Anderson or Minter with some really, really sort of tasty fixtures, good rotations with other players that I've got in the squad. Say Theo, Bruno. Nice fixtures, good averages, consistency, repeatable actions with Defcon, etc. Getting that nice rotation going. Remove some of that nasty red, particularly with Semenyo, Dewsbury Hall, Petrovic, and sort of just start to see a bit more of that sea of green and really good rotations. So each week you go and I say, yeah, pictures ain't perfect, but there's some real good ones in there. That's it. Bit of a little waffly one. Just wanted to get this one out quickly. Bishop Brennan Cup coming in a couple of hours time. Just got to do a few screenshots, etc., and work out winners and first, second, third, and yes, go through some of those teams. There's some really lovely choices. A winner this week. Just need to double check it. I just thought they made a genius call. The one that actually got them their big points. It was an absolutely brilliant call. The more I looked at it, we'll have a look at that in a couple of hours. Take care. Have fun. Play your own game. Do not panic. Deadline soon. Make sure you've got your teams locked in, captain's choices and all that. Lovely stuff done. See you soon. Bye-bye.